Hello, it's Burgess Taylor, and today we're going to talk about productivity and motivation, how to stay motivated and how to be productive. And I think those two are sort of interchangeable. One of the first things you want to do is establish some kind of routine, maybe a ritual where you get up at a certain time every morning and you write, or at night after work you write. Whether you are an AM or a PM writer will be important to know because some people write better at the night, some people write better in the morning. Another thing that's really important when it comes to that is that once you get into the routine, when you miss that writing because of something, family obligation or a work obligation, or just something in life happens, which oftentimes does. Usually, you'll find a little bit of time somewhere else during the day, but it sort of messes up your routine a little. But you can add a little bit extra each morning or each evening to get that bit of word count down. But I think that's the second thing, word count. Sometimes when you concentrate too hard on the amount of words, you get a bit burnt out. There are days where instead of worrying about my word count, I'll call it a novel day instead of, worrying about my word count. And I will do something that has to do with my novel, but isn't actual word count writing. I will write about my protagonist or my antagonist goals. I'll write about what's going on. Maybe I'll write a journal entry as if I were that character. Or I'll draw out different scenes for setting stuff, or I'll research pictures online about settings. I'll look up characters, photos, someone who fits the description of my character. There are times when I'll just jot down anything and everything that's on my mind about my novel. My head is in the novel. I'm not worried about word count. I'm just keeping my mind in the novel. And then those days I feel more motivated and more inspired to write my novel instead of worrying about a word count. Another helpful hint would be to figure out whether you're a pantser or plotter. An outliner would be a plotter. There are people who are in between. I'm an in-between person. I have to get main points out. Mostly those are the big plot points and the character goal and things like that, rather than step-by-step scene outlining. I'm not real big on step-by-step scene outlining. I will do hardcore chapters. Like if I have a book that's 30 chapters, I'm probably only going to outline every 3 or 4 chapters, maybe even every like 5 or 6 chapters, which are basic, those really big plot points, and even the smaller ones. But I don't outline every scene. It just doesn't work for me. So sometimes we have to figure out what works for us. Whether you're a detailed planner and you need to outline a lot of the steps and scenes and things, or whether you're more of fly by the seat of your pants kind of person, or if you're somewhere in the middle like me. One of the really big things for writing a novel is consistency. You need to maintain that routine as much as possible. And like I said, maybe some days you won't worry so much about word count, but time spent on your novel with your head in your novel. Sometimes I take a long walk and I imagine my character taking that walk. What is that character seeing? How would that character describe it? So it puts me in the head of my character. Now, to stay consistent, you want to have some goals. Maybe you're more likely to do better if you only have monthly goals, or maybe you need weekly or daily goals. Whatever works for you. I usually set up long-term, mid-term, and short-term goals. Like I need to have this done by this time next year, but in order to do that, I need to do this every month or every quarter, and in order to have that done, I need to do this every week, and in order to get that done, I need to do this every day. And then reward yourself. When you make those goals, certain goals, you can reward yourself with anything from really little things to I'm going to get a cup of coffee at Starbucks, going to the office supply store and getting some post-it notes and some new pens, to if you were to make that yearly goal, or you were to win Camp NaNoWriMo or NaNoWriMo, getting yourself a NaNoWriMo t-shirt, or getting yourself a new keyboard, or something like that. For me, one year, it was a new office chair. One year, it was a new keyboard. One year, it was Scrivener. I have gotten some of the t-shirts, quite a bit of the t-shirts. I've gotten, I think, 2 mugs. I mean, it really just depends. Some of my goals are little goals, and some of my goals are the bigger goals. When I reward myself, it really depends on what kind of goal we're talking about. Another thing that is really important to remember is self-care. If you're writing and you're spending a lot of time writing, one, you're sitting, most of us, unless we're lucky enough to have a stand-up desk, a standing desk. So you need to walk around. You need to get some movement going, exercise. You need to have healthier habits, making sure you're hydrated, eating healthy. You don't want to be eating a bunch of junk food while you're writing. One, it's going to get all over the place, and two, not a good thing. Not a good thing. At least not for me. So you also need to think about like getting up and moving around, taking breaks. I get up every like hour and a half or so, and I walk around and I'll go like put a load of laundry in the washer or put a load from the washer into the dryer. I'll wash a few dishes. I'll clean something. I get up and move around. Sometimes I go outside and just walk around and do a couple of laps around the house just to get my blood circulating. And it also really helps my mind, because sometimes when you're writing, you get caught up and not right there, and then you're not thinking about other things, like the other goals or the other things that you need to be thinking about. So sometimes it helps me clear my head and go back to, okay, well, my character was doing this, but this over here needs to happen. And I had tunnel vision. So it really helps me. Another thing is, if you get stuck in your writing, don't quit. A lot of people call that writer's block. Writer's block is more or less about fear or laziness, procrastination, which all of those kind of stem from fear. We get stuck sometimes. So do something like take a walk, read a chapter in a book, go have coffee with a friend. Like I said, I go outside sometimes and walk around the neighborhood or walk around the house just to kind of get a different bit of scenery, so I'm not looking at these 4 purple walls. You can do any number of small things that will help you get back on track. Another thing to remember is to find something that symbolizes why you wanted to write this novel in the first place. What inspired you? What made you think about this idea or this character? So you can either put like an image up or a song or any number of things, and keep that nearby as a reminder of why you wanted to write your book, why this book is important. And then the last thing I want to talk about is accountability. I do these videos sometimes for Camp NaNoWriMo, for NaNoWriMo, the Writer Wednesday kind of videos, to help hold myself accountable. A lot of this is just because it's fun. It helps me hold myself accountable because other people are out there too, and maybe they just need an encouraging word, or maybe they need to know that they are not alone in their struggle, that there are days when I don't want to do anything with my writing. What I really want to do is curl up on the couch and watch some Netflix, drink a Dr. Pepper, eat some popcorn, and say, the hell with it, I can write tomorrow. And then there are days when I am so motivated, I write like 5,000 words in a day. What I've tried to do is to kind of space that out. Like, I'll take breaks, I'll reward myself sometimes. If I wrote, let's say, for example, yesterday I wrote 5,000 words. I was on a roll. I was writing all kinds of words. But then today I feel kind of, I'm not so sure. I'm not really feeling it, but I don't quit. I will put my head in my novel. I'll write, like I said, a journal entry from my character's point of view. I'll write about the scene and the setting. I will just kind of do some research about something with the novel. And I'll spend like maybe 30 minutes to an hour on that. And then for every 30 minutes to an hour I spend with my head in my novel, I get to watch Netflix and take a break. If I spend an hour with my head in my novel, there's an episode of whatever series I'm currently watching that I can watch for Netflix. Now I know that I can't spend 8 hours during my day alternating between writing or with my head in my novel and then watching Netflix. I have other things I have to do. But it gives me a chance to spend some time doing something that is rewarding mentally, because it gets my head out of my novel and it gives me a break, and then at the same time I'm putting my head in my novel so that I can get my head out of my novel, if that makes sense. So talking about it, if you have a writer buddy, there are a lot of writer groups. Hashtag Write Stuff does something on Twitter. They have tweet chats every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you can check it out. All you do is look up hashtag Write Stuff. And if you have missed it, you can always look back and see what's going on, because Tamara has all kinds of stuff for Write Stuff. It's a really good site. Well, I guess it's not a site, but they do have a Facebook page, hashtag Write Stuff. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and I will see you again soon. Thanks, y'all. Bye.